Okay, 808 Hawaiian Time. Back, part 2. Picking up where I left off. This was the 5th failure. And mind you, I already went to 2 auto shops. One didn't want to take it, didn't want to work on it. They said it didn't idle. The other one adjusted it 2 times and it still failed. So what do you do? What do you do? And so I was kind of lost over here. I started researching. Took me several weeks, a couple of weeks at least, to try and see what I can do without, rebuilding an engine, getting new jets, and all this other stuff they say I needed. So forget that. One of the first things I did that I'm going to add to my arsenal was this right here. 4, 6, and 8 cylinder engines. Ignition dwell, engine RPM, measures volts and amps. So this right here, I gotta say, helped me out tremendously, because I was able to get the high RPM and the low RPM and adjust my air fuel mixture with my carburetor. So this is what I did. After that, I went and changed my hoses. I think I showed a video of that. There was some like a heater box or heater exchange underneath of the engine. I JB welded that, changed the spark plugs, changed the oil 2 or 3 times, ran some Marvel oil in there. I put some fuel additive in there to kind of clean up the fuel. I ran 91%, and then I decided to go back again for the 6th time. Now the 6th time, okay, here's number 6, and it said fail on the 6th. So I passed the idle this time, 411, standard was 500. This is where I failed, the CO idle. I came in at 6.00, standard is 5.50. So when I saw this 6.00, I went in the office and I asked the guy, I said, so, tell me what that means for me. So I knew how to make the adjustment. So this told me that it was running rich. So normally if you run rich, you want to turn your fuel mixture screw to the right and close it off a little if it's running too rich. But I gotta tell you, this is what I found out about that. I did that, and what happened was it didn't come out right. See, that's a half a point off. So there's still one missing over here. Okay, this was the 7th time. And so I passed here, and then I failed that idle again after I shut it off, or I turned it to close it up. So when I came in at 5.65, I was now beyond a half a point here. 0.65, 0.50. I was 0.15 off. So this is my 7th time. So let me show you. Let me see if I can get a piece of paper over here to show you guys what I did. 1 second. Okay, back at you now. So what I'm going to draw is on the left hand side of it, I'm just going to draw a circle with a line through it. Then I'm going to put 1 for the fuel. And then over here, this is the air. And then supposedly optimal air to fuel ratio is that right there. Okay. So the screws that I had, which is the air fuel mixture, I had that at 12 o'clock. My fuel screw, which is the smaller screw, I had that at, say, 11 o'clock. Okay, so what I did is I turned this screw here to 12 o'clock, which makes it right in the middle, and I left this at 12. I just let that go, and this is what I came out with. Another fail. I passed, I failed this one, I passed the other two. So really, by running rich, they say rich. So I turned it to the right to close off the fuel. And I failed. So my point to this right here is that if you close this here, you're gonna get less than 1 as far as your fuel. So I'm gonna write a jagged line right up above the 14.7. So this one here, let's say this was voided air. I needed actually more air. So once I did this and I put this from 12, I went all the way to 10 o'clock. And then I left my fuel back at 11 o'clock. So 10 o'clock, I gave it more air and I put this back where it was prior to me failing this test. And let's see number 8. I keep all my records. Okay. Right here is the indication. This is where I was off by about a half a point. So this is, I made up the half a point, I dropped it half a point. So now I pass, and got this to 5.50, 5.50, and I passed. So don't always think that you need to close up your fuel if it's too rich. What you need to do is leave this alone, because this is probably 1 part fuel. You're probably right in your fuel screw. But if you're voiding just a little bit of air, it'll cause you to be that half point over. So what I did is I went from 12 o'clock to 10 o'clock on my air, and then I turned my fuel screw from 12 o'clock back to its original at 11 o'clock, which gave me that 1, which is the ratio for the fuel. And now it's passed. My God, that was crazy. So anyway, after making my adjustments and all of this, changing the oil, changing spark plug, the heater hoses, change your oil, please change your oil. That's one of the most important things, I think. So anyway, that is the end, and it's good for a whole year. But hot tip on this, the last point I'm going to bring up, is anything over 25 years can be taken to your insurance and listed as a collectible or a classic car. Get that insured, take that to the MVD. They'll make note of that, and you won't have to do any more emissions. Then you can actually register it for 5 years, no emissions ever. All right, I'm out of here. You guys take it easy. Peace. See ya.